Hello everyone, this is GYAN and today I am having a very special guest, my teammate as well, AMSTON Sanchez, who has recently gotten selected in ANGLO and previously he had gotten selected in IMS-GOA as well. So congratulations AMSTON for your selection.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So today we are going to have interview experience of AMSTON for Anglo. So in which three things will be there. The question asked to you from the interviewer and what are the answer you gave. The second, how you prepared, and the third is what are the tips you would like to give the upcoming aspirants. Okay. So let's start with the first thing.
Okay.
What are the
So,
question he asked to you and how you answered,
question.
what you answered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I had it. I had my Anglo interview on this 6th of October. So he started with his family background. So I told him about my family background. Then he asked me about my BTech percentage, final year marks, and then he also asked me about my project.
No,
Well, I
no,
told
what's
him
your
about
final
my
year marks,
project in
you
the
also
marine
tell.
sector. Or
what
what?
you,
What?
what you told also tell that.
Okay.
Okay. Mm.
Okay, okay. So I told my final year percentage is aggregate of my final year percentage is 87.9%,
Mm.
and then aggregate of my BTech of mechanical engineering is 86.9%.
Mm.
So then he asked me, when did you clear your BTech? So I told him I
Who was your
currently
interviewer?
ended in my
Hello,
last.
Amston, sorry to interrupt.
My interview was Rishi. Yeah,
Rishi Rana sir.
yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah. My interview was Rishi Rana sir. So after that, he asked me about my project. So I told my project was on green composite. It was development and characterization of green composite. I tried to stick to the marine industry as far as possible. So I told him about how composites are gaining importance because of the high strength to weight ratio as compared to traditional metals. Then I told him how it can be used for the accommodation part. A green composite can be used for the accommodation part of a ship, wherein it can, after as in know, synthetic composites after its life cycle end up in the landfills and they are also non-biodegradable. And even if you use metals, they corrode in the sea environment, the parts corrode. So we can use a green composite that we made, which was of natural fiber, natural matrix, which were locally available where I stay, which is in Goa. And then we blended those and we made a composite. We tested for their tensile flexural properties. Then we did SEM analysis, which is a microstructure analysis. And then we got a value of highest for, we made actually 36 samples, and then we got the highest value of 44 megapascal for the tensile strength, which was for bamboo blended with cashew nut shell oil, which is the matrix. And then we got the maximum flexural strength of 24 megapascals. And then I told him
You
we can
told
use
all the
this for the dynamic.
you explained
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, I told all of them.
Yeah, okay, okay. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people,
He was listening.
the input is that people should have aspirants should have their good command on their project
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah. It
crux
should
of
be on
yes,
your tip of your hands. If
yes.
it is Rishi Rana sir, this is a sure short question project about project.
Okay.
So he was patiently listening to me, and then I ended where it could be used, a composite, what is the future scope, and what where it could be used in the marine industry. So
What
try
are
to
the
stick where.
cross question he asked? Also
No,
mention.
no, no, no cross. He mentioned, I think, nothing. I don't remember. He asked me a cross question. I don't remember,
Okay.
but he said good. Okay. He also received a call, so he was calling back of time. So then he asked me, name the parts of the diesel engine.
Mm.
So I told him the four. I'd not go with the two-stroke diesel engine because those are complex and I would get trapped in the cross question. So I told him. He asked me parts of a diesel engine. Then I told him the parts of a four-stroke diesel engine in concise. I told him. So as follows. I told him cylinder block,
Mm.
cylinder liner, piston rings. I went in the following order like that. So piston rings, gudgeon pin, also called the piston pin, then piston, connecting rod, the crank pin, then the crank web, crankshaft. And then I told him the overhead assembly as follows: camshaft, then the push rod, rocker arm, valves, the inlet valve, exhaust valve, valve, fuel injector, so flywheel. So these are the parts of the diesel engine. Then he asked me the location of the piston rings, where are they present. So I told him the piston rings are present on the circumferential grooves present on the piston and their function. I told him the upper set forms the compression rings, while the end last is the oil scraper ring. So the compression ring helps as a gas tight joint between the piston ring and the cylinder liner, help in effective moving up and down. So that is it prevents the blow by of the combustion gases entering into the crankcase, prevents. And then I told him about the oil scraper ring, which is present at the end. And then its function is to mainly scrape off the excessive oil and also ensure that there is some oil which lubricates between the piston ring and the cylinder liner interface. Then he said, good, good. Then he asked me about name some boiler mountings. I told him the boiler mountings as follows. First, I said safety valve, air vent cock, the steam pressure gauge, gauge glass, low water level shutdown or the fusible plug, boiler blow down valve, boiler scum valve, feed check valve, and lastly, I told him this thing, steam stop valve. So these are the boiler mountings on a boiler. So you have to be very good in your answer. So you have to start like this. The boiler mounting are as follows. So start with those and then end very nicely saying that these are the boiler mounting. So it gives like a end and a start. So then he asked me about VCRS components. So I told him VCRS vapor compression refrigeration system, and then the components are as follows. First is the compressor, condenser, thermostatic expansion valve, and the evaporator. Then I told him apart from this, we have accessories to the VCRS system such as the dryer and the sensing bulb. So these are the components of the VCRS system. He was quite well okay with it. Then he asked me about the different entity methods. I told him the different entity methods as follows. First, we have magnetic particle testing, ultrasonic testing, dye penetrant testing, and then this thing. The last one is okay. These were the entity methods. Then he asked me about explain me the magnetic particle testing. So I told him this is mainly conducted for ferromagnetic particles, ferromagnetic objects, and then it's for sub this thing. It's on it is to detect the surface cracks, and the surface cracks can't detect inside the material, cracks inside the material. So it's only for the sub cracks and the on the top of the surface. So I told him it starts with such procedure. Then it is the surface to be tested is clean, and then it is clean, and then a magnetic field is applied along it. Then the ferromagnetic particles are put on onto the surface on the top of the particle to be tested, and wherever there is crack or any defect, the magnetic field gets disrupted, and the particles of the ferromagnetic particle which are sprinkled on that gets aligned, so it detects the crack. It reveals the defect is on the surface. So this is how magnetic particle testing works. So he was okay with it, and then he asked me working of a induction motor. So I explained him going with the induction motor works on the electromagnetic Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. And I told him there are two main parts. First is the stator, and second is the rotor. So starting with the stator has windings onto it which are 120 degrees electrically apart, and when this AC voltage is applied to these windings, and a rotational magnetic field is produced. So this rotational magnetic field interrupts with the rotor. Now the rotor is the rotary part which has the cylindrical core along which are conductive bars which are short circuited by end rings. So when the rotational magnetic field is produced by the stator winding, it induces EMF into the rotor by electromagnetic induction. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Now EMF is produced in the rotor, so you have rotational magnetic field on one side. The EMF which is induced in the rotor produces its own magnetic field. So this magnetic field tries to align with the rotational magnetic field of the stator, and that is how torque is produced. So this is how induction motor works. So he was saying, then he told me, do you want to tell me something? Then he said, based on your interview, I'm selecting you. Okay, so I got a little thank you. I said thank you, sir. It made my day today. So it was done final. Then he told me about. He asked me what will be doing after your this thing after your medicals. So he only told me that you can research about greener fuels and all of this stuff. You can do some courses. So I said okay, sir. So and then it was done.
So, guys, this
Okay.
is Amston.
So this was my interview experience.
Amston is joined us from the last couple of months, 3 to 4 months, I guess, and from starting only. And you can see the
Yes.
kind of preparation he is having. And since he already cleared IMS Goa, so I had said to him, "You are already having a diamond, okay? So don't worry for gold." Since he is from Goa, so
Yeah, yeah.
he will be joining IMS Goa. But it was very important. He was asking that I should give
Yes.
interview or not. I said the fight never ends. You should appear for interview. Okay, the you have to
Yeah.
clear. If you will clear Anglo interview as well, you will be having two interview experience. You are my teammate. If you will be helping, you can help a broader people, broader aspirants. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Correct, correct, correct.
Yeah. So moving to the next part.
Even with 1 day of revision, I could do with this Anglo thing.
Any
Anglo, I
new,
would revive it.
Amstan, with honestly, tell me any new question which has not we
It-
have not discussed any asked.
No, no. It was all discussed in the questions done by Ashish Dayanand, who is currently joined Anglo. So all the questions were asked over there.
Everything is
So
has
it
been
Anglo
discussed.
works like every sir has a set. Yeah, every sir has their own question set, and then it only asking those questions, and they are telling.
Uh, Guys, we have
It's
already
not nothing new over there.
yeah, I have already tapped top 30 questions by GYAN and Amito Leverenso. Okay, that is very
Yeah,
important for
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and soon I
Those are
will
very helpful. Yeah, yeah.
soon I will be having with Amston also the remaining question of Anglo which can be asked Q&A session. From there you can be guided. And moving to the next part, Amston,
Yeah.
how you prepared. Yeah, I know you
So,
have told
firstly,
about this IMS Goa thing, but for the Anglo thing also, till what are
yeah,
the tips you would like to
yeah.
give
First, it started with Anglo.
Mm,
I never thought I would this thing get selected in IMS. So it started with Anglo. It started with Ashish Dayanand taking my mock interviews, 2 3 mock interviews. Then it went to Shubham Chaturvedi who helped me. So that was the set for Braganza sir.
mm,
So I initially started with that. Then my IMS call came. So my rank was good over there. So why not crack it? So I gave my full जान लगा दी उधर. So I gave my full full there over there. Everything got fixed over there.
the
So I got
material,
in Scorpio.
let's talk about the
Okay,
material.
material. So material initially started with Dreamer package. I made notes of that. Started to fly from my initial, and then I watched it again during my while preparing for my IMS interview. Then it went on to watching Gyan's videos of the 30 top questions, and then referring Ashish notes. I was also participating in the sessions which were currently this thing which were conducted at night and all by Gyan, Kiran, all helped me for Anglo preparation. And then lastly I came to know that Rishi Rana sir is coming. So it was quite easy to crack that interview because those were hardly few questions. So with IMS preparation, it was easy to crack Anglo interview. So
Okay,
only with 1 day of revision, I could do Anglo. This thing.
see,
Anglo, I could crack Anglo.
well, for some people it may be easy since you were joined from the last couple of months. We were having the common questions, we were having the interview testimonials,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
one guy, I won't take his name, he got rejected by Rishi Rana sir, and it was very hurting to me that why, but he got rejected with these components of three phase induction motor, some cross question work. Then I said, this question is, was the what are the given testimonial, we had given the testimonials questions to him, already collected testimonial questions, everything we have discussed, and it was his fault that he didn't cover. Okay, something can't be spoon feeding na. Yeah. So
Yeah, some people what they do is they only prepare. They fail in giving mock interviews. So we are always here to take mock interviews. So mock interview is like add-on level,
hmm,
giving you confidence. So
hmm,
there is something people have to work on. People don't give mock interview. They think they know everything and they lose confidence in the interview.
that's why there
That
are
is
lots of
something I
mocks.
would give a tip like to the community.
And guys, you watch the mocks of selected people. 1 hour mock we have taken. We have taken 2 hours mock actually. The selected,
Yes.
see how they answer, see the confidence of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Amstan, for your time. Uh,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and thank you, guys. So this was
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for here.
This was
Thank.
Gyan Prakash with Amstan Sanchez signing off.